Hi, this is Byron with Press Lock, and I'm standing here beside our T-Rex. We're just going to go over a couple of little things that are kind of useful tips for clinch tooling. So it's not necessarily T-Rex, but the Thor, the Loch Ness, all of those, Moose Jaw, all of those ones could benefit from knowing this little sort of tip and trick. We have some 16 gauge mild steel here, and with that, you've got a limited amount of flange space here, so you want to be mindful about where your clinch tooling is. When you're running a lot of them along an edge too, that also matters. So if you look at the die here, you see it, you've got a center pocket and then 3 die blades, we call them. So those die blades actually flex to the side. I don't know if you can see that, right? And that's part of the secret of clinching, is without that movement, you get no interlock. So what that means, though, is that we need contact on those die blades when you're making a clinch. So this machine's already set up for doing this material. I'm going to put that in there. I've got that punch right. I'll do it on this side here. I got it right dead center. So when you clinch that, you know, we get a nice connection. There's no distortion on the material on either side. But now if I come along here and I overlap that die blade, I usually say if you're trying to get a clinch, get halfway over that die blade to get a connection. And I'll just show you what happens if we're a little less than that. So now you can see a little bit of that anvil peeking in. I'm going to hit that there. And so you see how that just, you got nothing. There's no strength to that. You can kind of see a cross section of how it formed, but clearly that's not something you want. So if you get that, and it depends on the material, depends on the stack up, if you get that just over that die blade, now you can see that actually made a connection. We got a little bump there. So that's the thing you need to be aware of. If you're getting inside this protective collar, you're going to get a little bit of formation that's going to, if I were to run this all along a long seam, you might actually get a bit of bending in that part. You want to get right in the center there, or at least a decent distance from the edge. Now, in some applications, this is just fine, and you're getting nice and close to an edge so you can have a smaller return, but those die blades are the ones that dictate it. You got to get a little bit over that die blade, if not the full die blade, if you want to get a decent connection. So one other thing here, we're using our urethane tooling, so sometimes the edge isn't the problem. Sometimes you're trying to get on the other side. Now, if I did this from this side here, you can see that that die isn't quite getting there. But if I turn this to this flat that I took to the belt sander on the urethane's not great for everything, but it's certainly nice to be able to make that little modification. And see, now I'm able to clinch that and I'm not getting distortion on the part. So for an inexpensive way to modify tooling to get into a job, the urethane can't be beat. And that's one of the things that is useful. Now there's other types of tooling, a whole library of it, but this is some of the key ones and how you would attack certain problems like this. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.